Hi class, in lesson 6.4 you will be determining the percent given the part and the whole, determining the whole if you are given the part and the percent, and finally determining the part if you are given the whole and the percent. Please turn to page 434, problem 1, what percent is it? Previously you have learned how to determine the percent of a number. You can use your knowledge of percents to determine the whole of a group or the percent of the whole that a certain number represents. Please answer number 1, letters A and B with your group members. For number 1, letter A, if we drew 100% of the triangles, we would have to draw 20 triangles, and for letter B, one triangle is 5%. Please answer number 2, letters A through C with your group members. For number 2, if the rectangle shown is 25% of another rectangle, for letter A, we would have to draw 2 to represent 50%, letter B, 3 to represent 75%, and for letter C, we would have to draw 4 rectangles to represent 100%. Turn to page 435 and answer number 3, letters A and B with your group members. For number 3, letter A, 25% of the figure would be 1 triangle, and for letter B, 100% of the figure would be 4 triangles. Please answer number 4, letters A and B with your group members. For number 4, letter A, at least one part would need to be shaded in to represent 50% of the rectangle. And for letter B, the percent of the unshaded portion on the rectangle is 100%. Turn to page 436. Please answer number 5 and number 6, letters A and B with your group members. For number 5, in order to draw 100%, we would need 2 squares. For number 6, letter A, 1x would represent 10%, and for letter B, 10 x's would represent 100%. Turn to page 437, problem 2, determining parts, wholes, and percents. Percent problems involve 3 quantities: the part, the whole, and the percent. If you know 2 of the quantities, you can determine the third. Previously, you calculated the price of a notebook after the 25% discount. The notebook cost $2.95 and the discount was 25%. You calculated either 25% of $2.95 and subtracted the difference from the total, or you calculated 75% of $2.95. The whole usually comes after the word of in percent problems. The percent is generally indicated in percent problems. Let's investigate situations that involve determining the percent if you know the part and the whole. Please turn to page 438 and answer number 1, letters A through C with your group members. For number 1, since percents are part-to-whole ratios, we can scale up in order to find our percent just like we did when we found equivalent ratios. For letter A, 48% of the students play brass instruments. Letter B, 32% play the drums. And letter C, 20% play woodwinds. You can write an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100 by doubling, tripling, or quadrupling the original denominator. However, some denominators are not a factor of 100. When this occurs, you can simply divide the numerator by the denominator to calculate the decimal equivalent of the fraction. Then you can multiply the decimal by 100 to determine the percent. Please answer number 2 with your group members. For number 2, when we divide the numerator by the denominator, we can see that 52.8% of the students, or about 53%, take piano lessons. Turn to page 439 and fill out the table for number 3 with your group members. If we look at the brass section, the number of students who play brass instruments would be 57.5%. the cornet 20%, trumpet 22.5%, tuba 15%. For the number of students who play woodwinds, 25%, clarinet 17.5%, flute 5%, and saxophone 2.5%. For percussion, we have 17.5%, the bass drum 10%, and cymbals 7.5%. Please turn to page 441 and answer number 6, letters A through D with your group members. For number 6, letter A, here is the proportion that you should have set up. Their bill is going to be $16. Please read over the explanation and make sure it is similar to the one that you wrote down with your group members. For letter B, here is the proportion that you should have set up. She is going to attempt 150 free throws. Please read over the explanation and make sure it is similar to the one that you have with your group members. For letter C, here is the proportion you should have set up. The computer's price is $560. Again, read over the explanation and make sure it's similar to the one you have. And for letter D, here is your proportion. The quiz is going to be worth 20 points. Read over the explanation and make sure it's similar to the one you discussed with your group members. This will conclude lesson 6.4 in determining the part, whole, or percent of percent problems. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.